Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're asking that age-old question, how long do computers last? On average. It doesn't matter if you are a Windows user or a Macintosh user. If you have one of these shiny devices, meaning a laptop or a desktop, which I'm not gonna pick up, at some point it's going to reach the end of life. So we've always asked that question, how long should our devices last? Number one, to make sure that computer manufacturers are not getting over on us by forcing us to upgrade. About 20 years ago, it was almost a reality that new technology devices came out every 18 months, and people are still in that mindset that rather than to get your computer repaired, it's better just to toss it and to get a new one. The problem that causes with our current industry as far as the right to repair or recycling is that our recycling centers are filling up and our landfills are filling up with old devices. But truth be told, your computer could last a lot longer than you think it will. So let's answer, I almost said ask, but let's answer some of these questions or commonly asked questions when it comes to your computers and devices. So number one, how long do computers last on average? Well, that's a good question, Burton. But there's two answers to that. So in today's world, the longest you can get out of your computers are 3 to 5 years. And that's because of the way both Microsoft and Windows cater their operating systems. Currently, the newer versions of Mac and Ventura is the operating system, followed with Windows 11, will not install on older devices. If you have an older Macintosh computer, you may have stopped at Snow Leopard. Well, that's a little bit too old, but El Capitan and some of the older operating systems, not because your computer can't handle them, but because Apple has decided that you shouldn't be running these older operating systems anymore. Same thing with Windows. But however, Microsoft used to be a little bit lenient and allowed you to run Windows on a device for as long as possible. But in recent years, computers that are older, which used to be able to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10, can no longer make the transition from 10 to 11 because Microsoft is deemed the hardware will not support the operating system, although we know that Windows 11 could possibly run on an older Windows computer. So realistically, on older computers, you can run those things anywhere up to 10 years versus, well, laptop and desktop, believe it or not. But it's the operating system that stops you sometimes because maybe your programs aren't able to run on the current operating systems, and that causes a problem when it comes to your devices. So also, what is the average lifespan of a laptop? Again, it's almost identical to what you would run with a Windows computer. Anywhere from 3 to 5 years currently, but sometimes realistically you can get up to 10 years with your computer as far as life expectancy. Now, another question people ask when it comes to their computers, and it always gets the battle going, is do Macintosh computers last longer than Windows PCs? Now notice in this sentence, I did not call the Windows computer a PC because, truth be told, both Macintosh and Windows computers are both personal computers. Whether it be a laptop or a desktop, they're personal computers. Hence the Mac versus the Windows. So without that, it depends on how the Windows computer is manufactured. Now, it's true for the most part that Macs last longer in Windows because under most circumstances they have I won't say titanium, but they have a metal outer body which helps a Mac withstand bumps and accidents that are prone to happen. Also, Macintosh computers are normally higher end computers, meaning that they are built with top of the line parts, not the parts, but just higher end processors, and usually a little bit more RAM, which means it has a longer lifespan because it's able to keep up with the updates with the operating system. Now, most Windows computers, or I should say some Windows computers, are built with economy conscious people in mind, in that when it comes to Windows computers, you can get them at a lower price range than you can a Mac. So it's hard to compare a Windows computer that you could possibly spend anywhere from $300 to $500 to a Macintosh computer that starts at $1,500. There's no comparison. Now, if you were to buy a Windows computer that was about $1,500, you're going to get the Mac equivalent of a Windows computer that you would of a Macintosh computer. Also, that helps if you buy a Windows computer that has a metal case with it that will allow that laptop to last longer. Now, as far as a desktop, you don't need a metal desktop computer in order to get the lifespan of a Macintosh computer if you're a Windows user. Again, it comes to pricing. So if you were to spend $1,500 on a Windows computer, I guarantee it's going to last 10 to 12 years easy, just like your Macintosh computer will last. Next question. When is it time to upgrade your computers? Well, there's several factors that come into play with that. Factor number one, if your computer is running slow, then obviously that is a time to either upgrade or replace your computer. And upgrade versus purchase is two separate things. So again, if you're upgrading, then you need to look at the time to upgrade is when your actual device runs slow. Both Windows and Macintosh computers and all of the tech that we use is heavily reliant on the internet. So as long as your computer is able to get a strong internet signal, you should be fine. But both Windows or older Windows and Macintosh computers suffer from having installed mechanical hard drives, which eventually do wear out. Most newer computers come with what's called solid state hard drives, which has no moving parts and allows the computer to run anywhere from 2 to 4 times faster than the original computer. Now, if you have an older computer and you're sure it has a solid state hard drive in it, then you need to, or excuse me, let's go back. If you have an older computer and you're sure it has an old mechanical hard drive in it, then you need to replace that old mechanical hard drive with the solid state hard drive. Most solid state hard drive prices are anywhere from $50 to a terabyte hard drive, or $100 for a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is more than enough than the average computer user, and I highly recommend that you upgrade to those. Upgrading to a solid state hard drive is usually a task that an IT professional like me or my team at Integral would have to handle, but you can, in most instances, clone or make an exact copy of the information that's on the old mechanical hard drive to the solid state hard drive, making the transfer process a lot easier. And also with the solid state hard drive, you can install Mac OS and Windows OS on those computers if you just wanted to start from scratch with your old ratty computer. But slowness is when it's time to upgrade the computer. Now, upgrading as far as purchasing a new computer, that entirely boils down to when you can no longer run the operating system on your computer that is currently supported by Mac and Macintosh. I love that. That's a nice word. I'm going to keep that. What happens is at some point, Microsoft and Apple comes to the point where they're just like, we're done supporting it. We're done with the operating system, so you just needed to get a new one. Now, this comes into play when you can't install newer software on your old Windows or Mac computer. You can't install peripheral devices on your old computer, and you pretty much can't do anything with the computer other than to surf the web. Now, if you just surf the web and check web-based email, keep that computer until it does not turn on anymore. But if you need to keep up with current business stuff, time to lay it to rest, regift it, and move on and get a new computer. Which leads us to our next question. How much is a computer or a laptop new? You could get refurbished, but sometimes it's better to get new. Now, newer computers can range anywhere from $350 to $3,500. And when I talk about high-end computers, I'm talking about Macintosh computers, because those computers run a little bit pricey. But with anything technology, the more you spend, the better off you're going to be as far as your computer is concerned. If you spend a ton of money, that computer is going to last for a long time. If you don't spend a lot of money, look for chintzy stuff to happen to the computer, like keys falling off, especially with Windows devices. And if you get a cheap plastic chassis for your laptop, talking to you Windows users there, it can cause issues as well. So keep that in mind when making that purchase to a new computer. Now, what should I do if I get a new computer? Well, one of the first things before you even get a new computer is to make sure that you've installed some sort of backup process on the old computer. Especially with Macintosh computers, the restoring from Time Machine can be and take a lot of effort out of reinstalling programs and files onto your new Macintosh computers. Same adage with Windows computers, except there is no Time Machine. So you would have to have a reliable cloud backup or an external hard drive that you would need to back up that old computer to make sure that you can transfer the data to the new computer. You don't have to worry about antivirus on newer computers because it's already built into the operating system. Windows users can use Windows Defenders. Macintosh users can use Mac OS. Woohoo! And other than that, transferring your files and installing programs and making sure that you keep the CDs or a downloadable copy of your installed files for your computer, you should be in good shape. So there's not that much to worry about. Overall, when it comes to computers, in today's world, 3 to 5 is probably the average lifespan of your computer, unless you put a lot of money into it and it may last a little bit longer. But keep in mind, when the operating system ends, then you're no longer able to get your updates. It's time to upgrade. Macintosh users, the last updates you could probably get if you've got a 2017 computer or older is Mavericks. If you're a Windows user, if you get the message that says you can't go to Windows 11, you only have a couple of years left. So it's up to you and how you use your computer if you should upgrade the computer or buy a new computer. With that said, if you've got comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to answer your questions about computers and should you get a new desktop computer or a new laptop computer, or should you upgrade the computer? There's all sorts of options, and the answer isn't going to be the same for everyone out there. With every video, be sure to like it, share it with your friends, comment. Let's get the conversations going on these tech tips, because I know that you watching this video know someone who is struggling with technology. My purpose with these videos is to create a world of new ideas and experiences for people who are struggling with technology. I love all forms of technology, and my goal is to make technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.